If I want to learn cube shape algs, I pick up a square one. Hey guys, it's me cyoubx, and this is the TengYun version 2 by DAYAN. I love this cube. It has really good corner cutting, the mechanism is interesting, I love the feel of it. It's kind of like a more stable GAN-X version 1, which is actually my main. So this is really close to becoming my new main, but there are a couple issues I have with this cube that I want to discuss with you all, and hopefully if DAYAN sees this, they can actually make some changes. The first problem is one that other people have talked about, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but the tensioning system makes no sense. It's like DAYAN looked at what GAN did and what Moyu did and decided to just combine the two systems thinking that it would be the best, but in fact it's the worst tensioning system. So for those of you who don't know how the tensioning system works for the TengYun version 2, essentially they have a dual adjustment system where you can adjust the centerpiece travel distance as well as the spring compression, but on top of that they also have just a regular screw that goes into the core that you can also adjust. The whole point of having the dual adjustment system, especially one with the centerpiece travel distance, is so that you can have reproducible tensions on every single side on every single cube. But if you throw in screws that can actually freely rotate, now you don't get anything that's reproducible. In order to get reproducible tensions, you're going to have to set the screws to be the same distance first, and then go into the rest of the mechanism to change the centerpiece travel distance. And if I'm going to have to go through the trouble of tensioning the screws anyway to make sure everything is even, then I'm just going to tension the screw. There's absolutely no point in having another system that adjusts the centerpiece travel height. Oh, and another thing about the tensioning system, the fact that they include a spare core really does not give me confidence in how the tensioning system is supposed to be used. It's almost like they got lazy and they didn't know how to not use a screw in the mechanism, and so they just sort of threw it in there and called it an extra feature for adjustment, when in reality I don't think they want you rotating the screw at all, because if you tighten the screw too much, you could 1, break the core, and 2, actually render the rest of the mechanism useless. If the screw is too tight, you actually can't rotate the blue plastic bits because it's going to get stuck. There's just not enough distance. So really, I don't think they want people to use the screw. It's just that they didn't know how to get rid of it, and so they just called it a feature. I will say that I do think tensions are slightly overrated. I think if you have slightly different tensions on every side, you honestly are not going to notice it. So from a user perspective, I guess I don't really care that much about how bad the tensioning system is. It just hurts to see as an engineer. The second problem I do have an issue with as a user. For those of you who actually use the TengYun version 2 as your main currently, you might want to just stop watching this video because what I'm about to say might literally ruin this cube for you. If you're already happy with the cube and you like everything about it, then there's 0 point for you to keep watching, because seriously, once you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. The problem with this cube is that it's not a cube. The outer layers are roughly 55.5 to 55.6 millimeters, but the edges, so the center slices, are bigger. It's like 55.7 to 55.8 millimeters. It's like 100 or 200 microns, but it's noticeable, and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. I actually noticed it when I was doing some roux solves, because I realized that the middle layer just felt kind of funky, like it was more pronounced than I expected. And then I looked at the cube and I realized that the middle layer was in fact a little bit bigger. The center pieces are actually fine. The center cap and corner are totally in line. It's just the edge pieces that protrude a little bit. If you're wondering, I did actually check all of the caps. There were in fact some caps that were loose, but those were the corner caps. The edge caps were on perfectly tight. And at this point, I've checked every single piece and I've made sure all the caps are on securely. And yeah, the edges are still bigger. Each edge piece is literally like 50 to 100 microns bigger than the corner piece. It's barely noticeable, but I noticed it. And now I'm telling all of you, so you're going to notice it as well. For some of you, it's going to be totally fine. You're not going to care. For me, it's literally just different enough to where I don't want to use this cube anymore. So DAYAN, if somehow you come upon this video, please make the edges just a little bit smaller so that they're flush with the corners, and I will use this as my main. I still think your tensioning system sucks, but I can live with that. What I can't live with is a cube that is not a cube. If I want to learn cube shape algs, I pick up a square one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do think this cube is really good. It performs really well. And if DAYAN could just make that one change and make the cube actually flush, I would probably use this as my main. So with that, if you guys are interested in the TengYun version 2, the link is in the description. Make sure to use discount code cyoubx for 5% off all orders at TheCubicle. Until next time, toodles.